I think about this is a curiosity from like kind of the professional side for me. I was actually out on a run. I met my friend Pat the other day. There's a trail near my house, and my friend Pat did not grow up really running, but he does ultras now. And so my company, we do skincare products for athletes. He was like, "Do you have any like anti-chafing stuff?" He's like, "I need some really bad." How like I kind of think about any of that. This is like a product question for you, but just like any of those products seems like they're going to come off after a minute of time. Like, how do you deal with not being completely chafed at the end of a race?
Oh, this is actually great. I use Squirrel's Nut Butter,
Okay.
which is a product that is out of Flagstaff and developed by an ultra runner. It's amazing. It's like mostly like coconut butter,
Uh-huh.
but it works like a charm. So I wear gear that fits me really well.
Yeah.
I've got my own signature pack that fits female bodies, so it doesn't rub weird. But then I use that Squirrel's Nut Butter and it is amazing. I get maybe a little chafing, but not really. So
Is that a
you need
product
to
made
try it.
for chafing or is that a food? Because it
Yeah.
sounds like a
Oh
food.
no, no. I know. It's a product made for chafing. Yeah, check it
Okay.
out. Squirrel Nut Butter. They have like different like little like they almost look like deodorant sticks to just
Uh-huh.
like apply. They have like little tins you can carry with you when you're running, but it works so well.
Okay. It's like
Yeah.
it's just one of those like I haven't gotten into trying to develop that kind of product just because it's super competitive and I'm not really
Mm-hmm.
sure how you would differentiate it. But I hadn't heard about that. Everybody uses Body Glide, but I think it's only so good.
Yeah, I
Uh,
used to use Body Glide. I'm a convert, so
yeah. So I'll have to check out and see kind of what they're doing. Um,
yeah,
I want to kind of jump
yeah.
back.
Chris Thornley is the guy.
Okay, Chris. I
Yeah,
gotta like take all my notes here.
yeah.
Um, so I kind of want to jump back for you. I saw so like growing up, you did softball, and then somehow reluctantly found yourself in cross country. So I mean,
Yeah.
what? So how did you make the transition? Are you glad you made the transition considering how things turned out?
Well, I always was good at running. I just didn't really like it because all my friends and like the popular girls did team sports and I was like I kind of wanted to do that. So, it was my junior year in high school and I had done cross country skiing for the first time that winter.
Mhm.
And I was really successful and starting to think about college and like, running was I was good at it. And so it was like a really hard thing for me to give up softball, but like when I did, I was like, oh, this is the right decision. So my senior year in high school, I actually didn't play softball. I ran track for a year. That was the only time I've ever run track.
Mhm.
And then I got a scholarship to ski, cross country ski in college. So and skiing is similar to running. Like we spend a lot of time in the trails, and it was just kind of a natural progression from there. But yeah, it took a while to give up the softball.
Is there like, did you use that as cross training now? Like, since you with your Achilles, could you go out and ski, assuming there's snow? Could you go out and ski
Oh yeah.
instead?
Oh yeah, I ski all winter. Totally. Yeah. I cross country ski and I alpine ski and backcountry ski. So yeah.
Okay. Do you use that as like part of your say you're getting ready for UTMB or whatever in your 12-month plan? Do you say, okay, we're going to cross train and ski over the winter as part of training, or do you give it up?
Yeah. Definitely. And to me, I don't think of it as like cross training. Like it's one of the things I do. Like I running takes up the majority of like if I were to split it up, but to me, like biking and skiing, I don't see that as like cross training. I see that as outdoor activities I enjoy. And during that time of year, running in Bend is not fun.
Hmm.
There's snow, there's ice, and like I don't really want to just like go running that every day.
Hmm.
So skiing is much more appealing. And I mean, I'll alpine ski. This year I alpine skied a bunch, which, a lot of people might not classify as exercise, but it's fun. And I think, you know, training or like activities should be fun. So I like to dabble in a lot of things.
Yeah, well, that kind of like theme about fun, that's what I seem to get across from. I've talked to a lot of people, and I'm like, you know, why do we do this? Like, it's so dumb. You
Mhm.
know, especially like for people that do ultras, it's like looking at it objectively. What's the point of going out and running like 100 miles or like, you know? And I think the theme that it keeps coming back to is like, I have fun doing it. Like, I enjoy it for whatever
Yeah.
reason. There's some kind of
Mhm.
like enjoyment or bliss to be found.
Yeah, I enjoy pushing my body. And in a 100-mile race, I mean, the thing that's really cool is you become vulnerable at some point. Like you're stripped down to just like your raw being, and like, you know, you're faced with kind of, it sounds really really morbid, but you know, just like trying to finish is like a tough thing to do. And I haven't found that feeling in any other sport I've done. I'm sure
Hmm.
it's there, but I just love that when you just get to the point where it's like very simple, like you're just trying to move forward, nothing else matters.
Hmm.
And I love that challenge. I wouldn't say it's like blissful all the time. Most
All
of the
right.
time, racing is not blissful. That feeling of accomplishment and um, my best races, I guess the races I'm most proud of have not been my best races. Like I finished Western States one year. It was awful. I had to lay down for like 2 hours early on, and that like I thought there was no way I could finish, but I like made it happen, and I'm super proud of that race despite like not finishing that well. It was pretty
Hmm.
cool.
Have you ever gotten to the
It's
point
like
where like
understanding and hailing here. It's really funny.
have you gotten to the point where like your vision's starting to go black? Like everything's starting to close in on you?
Um, Not in an ultra.
Okay.
In a VO2 max test.
Okay.
I've had that happen, but no, the intensity usually isn't that high. It's more like the slow wearing of the body.
Okay. Okay. I was just curious. It happened to me. It's only happened to me once. And
Yeah.
it happened to me at a half iron event in Santa Cruz where I just the short version is my fueling got messed up, so I didn't have any fuel on the run portion, and just the last 5 miles became this slow drag as like my vision started closing in. I'm trying to get to the finish line, and yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of scary in one sense because I ended up in the medical tent, but on the other, like I also came away with it in somewhat of a positive sense. You made me think about this. Um, with your comment about like being stripped down to like your kind of raw
Yeah.
essence, where it's
Yeah.
like, you know, I didn't know how I would be when there's no possibility of podium anymore. There's no point in continuing in that sense, but it's like, what is that? What's that inner driving voice? What is that very raw essence going to tell you to do? Is it going to tell you to stop, or are you going to
Hmm.
continue forward? Um, and so I came away with it from like this kind of positive aspect that I knew I was going to keep plodding along until I passed out. Whether that's healthy or not
Yeah.
is another question, but
Well, it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool to have that drive and like finish what you started. I
yeah,
mean, to some extent, you want to be careful. You don't want to do anything stupid, but like,
yeah,
yeah, I think that's a pretty cool thing to walk away with.
yeah. It's kind of a mixed thing. When I talked to this is an earlier episodes, a guy named Chris Douglas. He um, said he almost died at a race because he got to the point he'd overheated so bad he
Yeah.
passed out like a mile from the finish. Like I don't know if you saw the news about Sarah True, so she pro triathlete. She passed out a mile from the finish in an Ironman event. She was getting ready to win because she had just went too hard and like didn't realize it until everything just kind of came down on her. But it's like I guess I struggle with trying to find the line between, like you said, like with ultras or really any race, like it doesn't matter, you know, at the end of the
Yeah.
day. It matters to us, but it doesn't
Hmm.
matter in the grand scheme of things. So I struggle with where's the line between let's continue and this is dumb. I could hurt myself.
Yeah, and I think like checking in with yourself is important. Like last year, I had to take a helicopter off UTMB. I was almost done with the race, and it was just I couldn't keep going. And like at some extent, you're like, man, I get like DNF is awful.
Yeah.
But also, I don't want to do that to my body. Like, yeah, if it's just me tired and I'm gonna, like have a long recovery, that's fine. But if it's like, no, this could be like permanent damage or
Hmm.
set me back years, I think like asking yourself that tough question in the moment is important. And I see too many people like, celebrating finishing with a stress fracture or something. It's like,
Yeah.
no, we celebrate that. Like that to me is like that's pushing that line.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, how do you, this is something that I think comes with age and experience, as trite as it is to say that, like how do you coach like a young athlete to figure out how to check in with themselves so they don't get into that situation?
um, yeah. I think realize that running or any race is not the end all say all. Like it does not define you. It's not that big a deal. Like it's one thing you do. I think that's really important to instill is that like you don't finish at any cost. Like that's
Hmm.
just not healthy. And like, I mean, yeah, push your body, but know like the good kind of hurt and the bad kind. Like we know that. We know when it's like you're pushing and everything is screaming at you, but it's like you're in control of it. When it's
Hmm.
pain that you're not in control of or that's getting worse, that's a sign like, okay, let's reevaluate where I'm at. And I think just not putting that much emphasis on race results is
Hmm.
is super important for young and upcoming athletes.
Yeah, I'm always big on, I come back to this, especially after a painful race. I tell my coach, and like, I'm not sure I care about racing. Like I love training. I love the day in, day out of like
Yeah,
training, but I'm like, I don't know if I care about care about racing. I like racing when I feel good. I don't like racing when I feel terrible.
yeah, I know
Um,
it's not fun.
so this is a question I'm asking everybody this year, and this is especially prescient with you, uh, because it encompasses what everybody does. I like to ask, if you can only choose one food for recovery for the rest of your life, what do you choose?
Chocolate milk.
That's, I think you're the fourth or fifth person to say chocolate milk.
Well, and I will say, okay, nutrition geek. I know it's good formulated, but I actually just really like it. I like
Yeah.
dairy. I like chocolate. It could be chocolate ice cream too. I'm gonna be different. Chocolate ice cream is what I pick.
That's a solid choice. To be fair, the very first person that said it, was Dr. Jason Karp, who was one of the authors on the chocolate milk study. So it started off
Yeah,
with
yeah,
him.
yeah. It
Um,
just is tasty, so
well, yeah,
it's easy to get down.
yeah, and available to a lot of people.
Yes.
Um, Stephanie, if people want to see what you're doing, get in touch with you, where can they find you?
Yeah. On my website or stephaniehoweviolett.com or on Instagram. I'm pretty active on Instagram, Stephanie Marie Violett. I'll post lots of pictures of the Alps and maybe some of me working too, because I do that here too.
Get a shot behind the desk one of these days.
Yeah, yeah. I'll have to do that.
Good deal. Thanks for coming on today, Stephanie.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's great to chat.